It's Wednesday, October 27th, 2010. I'm Kevin McShann, and this is the McShann Sports Beat Report.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away. And I don't need no carrying on. You stand in the line just to hit a new low. You're faking a smile with the coffee to go. And tell me your life's been way offline. You fall into pieces every time. And I don't need no carrying on. 'Cause you had a bad day. You take it one down. You sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know. You tell me don't lie. You work on a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day. The camera don't lie. You're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day. You had a bad day.
Meeting expectations is a difficult thing to do, especially when everyone is zeroing in on you to deliver under normal circumstances. However, when you're dealt a deck of cards of adversity, it's made that much tougher for the Dallas Cowboys and their season with a broken left clavicle of starting quarterback Tony Romo essentially puts an end to their season and puts a fork in any hope of participating in the Super Bowl in early February in Cowboys Stadium to rest. A season that began with so much promise in September came to a screeching halt with 12:07 left in the Cowboys' divisional showdown on Monday night against the hated New York Giants when weakside linebacker Michael Boley decked Romo and laid into his left shoulder. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom for the Cowboys on Tuesday when head coach Wade Phillips announced that Romo would not require surgery. However, he would be out 6 to 8 weeks. Following the Cowboys' 41-35 loss to the Giants on Monday, Romo stepped to the podium to discuss his injury and what went through his mind when he got hurt.
Good. Get a lot of pain? It doesn't feel good, but just normal broken stuff.
Tony, did you know as soon as you went down, did you know right away something? Or did you kind of think it's just a stinger? Or?
I didn't know that it was broken. I guess, I was kind of in shock just from, when it happens, your body kind of goes into shock, so I had a hard time breathing. But I tried catching my breath, and when I did, it was hard to move the shoulder, and then it, I felt like it was kind of a sprain, maybe, just a good one, and I was just trying to get back in, have a little clarity, I guess you could say, and be clear, but I was just really lightheaded, and it made for feeling of it just to be, I couldn't get my senses all there at the moment.
Phillips says that losing Romo will be a tough blow for his team, but is hopeful his years of experience can help guide the Cowboys and put them back on the winning track.
Well, I've been a coach for a long time. I've been in this league a long time, and I've seen a lot of things happen. Hadn't had many losing seasons, so we want to try to turn it around here. But, I think I've been through it all, and there's been some hard times as part of that. But, like I say, the thing we can do something about is the next ball game, and that's what we got to do. And that's what we're planning.
The Cowboys will now turn to 14-year veteran Jon Kitna to lead their team. He talked after Monday's game about the opportunity to start again in the NFL, what went through his mind when Romo got hurt, and what the team needs to do to turn around their season.
And I'm prepared to lead this football team for however many weeks that is. And it's not something that, I'm scared of or anything like that. It's, I wish that this opportunity didn't come, because I think, it's bad for Tony, it's bad for this football team for that to happen, but it's here. And, I have confidence in myself and confidence in my teammates that, we'll get some things ironed out. We'll start seeing things, on the same wavelength, and we'll be fine moving forward.
John, now how did you turn it around where it's your team? Of course, it's an unfortunate incident with Tony, but now it's your team. How do you turn that around right from the start?
That's not something you make a statement of or anything like that. You just play well at quarterback. That's your job. Your job is to go out there and give your team a chance to score points and a team the chance to win, and not put your team in jeopardy. And that's the focus moving forward. I'm not in this on my own. I have a lot of talent around me, and I'm excited about getting to play with them.
It's a little disheartening when you see Tony laying on the turf out there, knowing that it's
you ain't got a chance to think about that. It's time to warm up and get moving. And so it's not disheartening. It's time to do your job. That's why they signed you, and that's why they brought you here, is to do your job. It's to back up and be ready to go. And I think I was. And we got to be better.
Romo says he has confidence in his backup to lead the Cowboys in the right direction during his absence.
Yeah, we're lucky to have Jon. He's has had a lot of success in the league. He's had some really, really great seasons, and he's going to step in. He's going to do a great job for this football team. We're going to rally around Jon, and he's going to put together some really good games. I think we were lucky to get him, and I've been lucky to have him bounce ideas and a lot of things off of, and he's helped in my development. But I think you're going to see really good quarterback play going forward, and Jon's a good player, and he'll show that.
Romo says, despite the dire circumstances the Cowboys find themselves in at 1-5, and him on the shelf for the next 6 to 8 weeks, the Cowboys quarterback says he's remaining optimistic that his team can resurrect their season with Kitna at quarterback.
Well, I'm staying optimistic. I think this football team, has a lot of high character guys. We have a lot of competitive individuals who aren't going to give in to a tough situation. But I know Kitna's going to play good ball. The offense is coming together. The defense is going to play good football, and we just need to get started here. I think I'm going to work my butt off, getting back, getting healthy, and be in the training room as much as I can. It's frustrating because you love playing the game. You love being out here, being able to compete on a weekly basis. It's going to, obviously be a difficult void to fill, but I'm going to stay optimistic. Just know that it's part of God's plan. You have to trust in that.
Despite the rosy picture the Cowboys are attempting to paint, insisting that their season isn't over and that they'll rally around Kitna for the final 10 games of the season, ESPN senior NFL writer Jon Clayton joined Mike and Mike on Tuesday to discuss the Cowboys' situation at quarterback and head coach. Clayton says that the Cowboys' season is virtually over.
The Professor Jon Clayton's on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. John, the initial word we were hearing out of there, 6 to 8 weeks, doesn't sound like they will need surgery, but obviously the Cowboys already had a mess on their hands, and now this clearly adds injury to insult.
Yeah, this is over for them. I mean, as much as they may want to talk about the next guy standing up and taking over and all those different things, Jon Kitna is, I think, one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league, but he's a backup quarterback in the division where there's still real good top quarterbacks. And so with 1 win and 5 losses, they have no chance right now to try to turn this thing around. And if they did I think you'd see a better performance. I mean, they jump off to the good lead, then all of a sudden they seem to coast. I mean, this team just is not focused in the right areas, and now they've lost their quarterback. They're going to lose their way, and they're going to go down probably as one of the most disappointing teams in the last several years.
Will there be a point this year where Jerry Jones will basically make the announcement we're going to move in another direction coaching-wise next year so it's out there before the season ends?
Probably out of respect for Wade Phillips, I'd say no, but I think it's evident that they'll probably do something after the season, and it's going to be a bigger name. I mean, they're not going to necessarily go with the next top assistant or anything of that nature, but I think that, he realizes that something different has to come in, and if you're trying to, Wade already knows the job as an experienced head coach. That wasn't the deal there, but to go with an assistant coach, they need somebody with a proven track record, and knowing Jerry Jones' way of doing it, I don't think it's going to be Bill Cowher. He's going to want a younger guy. I can see possibly John Fox as being one of the big names, but I think they're going to go into a direction with somebody that's done it, somebody that has a proven record, as opposed right now to where they are in a very disappointing season.
How much do you think that the Jerry Jones factor will frighten prospective coaches, meaning guys who have options? How much do you think they are at this point concerned about Jerry being a detriment when they look at Dallas?
Looking at the landscape of the guys that are available, I don't think it's going to be too bad. For the most part, there was, I think, maybe some concern by Mike Shanahan on the possibility that maybe Jerry would want too much, but I think Shanahan would have been on board, but I don't think Jerry really wanted Mike Shanahan. He wanted to stay, obviously, with Wade Phillips. Let's say if Shanahan were out there this year, then that might have been one. But I think in the cases of the John Foxes, possibly the Bill Cowher would be more the fear factor of what Cowher would want from Jerry Jones. But from the coaching standpoint, I don't think it's going to be with the current group of coaches that are out there available or could be hired. I don't think it's going to be as much of a factor.
Let me throw a stupid question at both of you guys. I think you're both going to laugh me down, but how about if Jerry Jones, if this thing gets really away from them? I mean, if this thing goes to like 3-13, and it is just a horror show, what are the odds he reaches out to Jimmy Johnson?
Never. Doubt it. Never.
Tell me why, John.
Just because I think there's too much of a past there. I think he also knows that Jimmy would not do it. I mean, to me, it would be something that he could consider. It's not a bad idea, but I think in the end, Jimmy's heart's not getting back into coaching, and there still might be a control issue that goes in there because it was control that was taken away from Jim Johnson. That Jerry Jones decided, what, I want to do this stuff. I want to be the GM because the one thing that I think is pretty clear that Jerry likes being the GM, and he's had success being the GM. And I think that if Jim would come back, Jimmy would probably want more control, but I don't know where Jimmy's energy level would be in that, but it'd be something to consider. I don't see it happening.
The Cowboys have certainly been one of the most disappointing, frustrating, and underachieving teams to follow over the course of the last 3 seasons. They certainly have the talent to make it all the way to the big dance, but sometimes talent doesn't mean anything if you don't have leadership. They need someone in that locker room to step forward and lead them through this adverse time. With that being said, with Romo out for the foreseeable future and the Cowboys out of any serious Super Bowl contention, it may be time to clean house in the coaching staff and write this season off as one to forget, because it's clear that this season is as good as gone. Kevin McShann, Sports Beat Report.